Okay, welcome everybody. This is the last press conference we're going to hold for many years. So Mike's going to send me a bill in the mail for all his time and services for athletics. But just thanks everybody for being here. It's a great day to be in Titletown, and appreciate the crowd here. This program matters, right? I mean, you could feel it this last year. And I want to start by thanking Sundance Wicks. Sonny and I go back many years. What he did, the entire staff that was here last year, you all did so much to transform and elevate this program, and we can't thank you enough. And Sonny, we will be cheering for you and the Cowboys moving forward. I'd also like to thank Chancellor Mike for his willingness to think differently. He just talked about that, how important that is at UW Green Bay, and for his continued belief in the power of Phoenix athletics. It is amazing to see the belief in this community for the Phoenix this past year, getting people like deep down to their core of going to games in the 70s and seeing Dave Buss start this program in Division I, turn it to Division I, Dick Bennett, the legends here. That's what this program's about, and we kind of got that out of people last year. You could feel it and how important this is. So I want to thank the amazing people of this community who have given their time, resources, talent to help us build a better foundation for this program. So thank you, this community, Northeast Wisconsin. We appreciate it. And then all this goes back to our team, the hard work they put in, the gentlemen up there, every single day to bring this program up from the ashes, to go from 3 wins to 18. I mean, unbelievable, the 9th biggest turnaround in NCAA Division I history. So it starts with, let's give those guys a round of applause right up there. So we appreciate you guys, and we look forward to a really bright future for Phoenix basketball. So I said this last year, about 14 months ago, Green Bay basketball is special. This program means a great deal to this region. It stirs up strong emotions, pride, and belonging. It is part of the fabric of Northeast Wisconsin. This program has been built by legends, the folks I just mentioned, and we belong amongst the best mid-major programs in the country. And I'll remind everybody a few points here. We've had 5 Division I tourney appearances, 3 Division II Final Four appearances, 938 wins, multiple NBA players. So this program is special, and we're excited to keep building on that legacy. Okay, so why Doug? So we spent a lot of time with Doug last year. He went really far in our process and actually came up to campus, and we got a clear understanding of his why to the core of Doug. You know, why now, why college basketball, and why transition from some of the stuff he's doing. And it was evident for us in the search committee last year that Doug had all the questions that we had were answered. And understanding his why and how he would attack this opportunity. So Doug and I stay connected over the last year. So when things happen over the weekend, just a crazy weekend, apologize to my wife for Mother's Day was not exciting. So I dug myself a hole there, but we'll figure it out. So when things happen with Sonny, we continue those conversations from last year. And I know this for a fact. Doug's been working towards this moment for a long time. This has been his dream from day one, and he'll talk about that in a second. Doug's excelled in everything he's done. He's a winner, plain and simple. He helped lead Oklahoma State to the Elite Eight. He is currently 11th all-time assist leader in NCAA Division I men's basketball history. He's coached in a variety of different levels through many organizations, from AEU to some national games, being around some of the greatest minds in basketball, professional, college, and he's coaching on every single thing he does, from leading his ultra-successful radio show to all the other ventures he's doing. You can see the respect he has around the country. So his broadcasting career speaks for itself. He built it from the ground up. And that same grit and determination and hard work will help him make a great leader of this program. That's what Green Bay is all about, right? It's a grit, belief, hard work, bring your lunch pail every single day and get it done. So Doug's going to think differently than most coaches, obviously. He's going to bring a lot of different connections, resources, and ideas that will help us navigate this crazy, turbulent Division I athletics world right now. Doug's been working, I think, about 8 jobs right now. So now he's going to cut many of those back. I think we're maybe down to 2. So you're supposed to laugh at that. Okay? So we couldn't be more excited for the next leader of this program. So let's get him up here. Please help me welcome the 10th men's basketball coach in Green Bay Phoenix history, Doug Gottlieb.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. Sunday night, I called my mom, and I was kind of like Josh, although Josh didn't tell the whole story because we talked, I think, Saturday, and he played disc golf. So during that time, he could have been doing a better job for Mother's Day. But anyway, Sunday night, I called my mom, and I was sitting on my front porch, and I said, I think I'm going to be the new head coach at Green Bay. And she was crying. And my mom was the perfect coach's wife. You know, my dad, God rest his soul, wasn't easy. No coaches are easy, right? Even the most loving, joyous, fun-filled coach is not easy, and my dad wasn't. He was old school. He was hard-nosed. He was tough to play for. And they bounced around the country, job to job to job, high school to college, a little bit of pro, and then eventually to AAU. My mom was the ultimate coach's wife, you know. In his later years, he was an AAU coach, and he placed kids. We had African kids staying at our home. You can't believe how many people have texted me in the last 24 hours. Hey, I stayed at your house in 2004. I stayed at your house in 2006. And my mom said, you know, of all the places that we have lived, there's nothing like Wisconsin. There's nothing like it. Real people, real work ethic, real community. And I thought of the difference between last year and this year. And Josh is right. Sonny did an amazing job. You guys did an amazing job. Okay? Because the hardest thing to teach in basketball, in sports, is how to win. Because you can get people close and they can be competitive, but how to actually win those games, that is really, really hard to teach, especially to a group that hasn't won before. So Sonny did an amazing job. You guys did an amazing job. But the difference between last year and this year is this job, now there's greater expectations, right? If you can win 18, why can't you win 22 next year? Why can't you win 25? You know? But the difference for me, and I was thinking about this quote, the famous comedian Steve Martin. He used to say, comedy is all about timing, right? Life is as well. And when that phone rang over the weekend, and it was Josh, my daughters are going to college this year. My son is entering high school. The timing for my life works. The program has been stabilized. These young men have established a really good culture within the program. And the idea of coming in with a little bit different style has already been adjusted to, and now we'll just adjust a little bit more. So I am more than honored. I'm just beside myself that Mike and Josh have selected me to be the 10th men's head basketball coach at Green Bay. My last name is Gottlieb. It's German. And it translates roughly into love by God. And I can't think of a human being on earth right now who's more loved by God. Because I get lots of texts if you deserve this. I don't know what I deserve. I've been dreaming of this moment since I was 2 years old, running around being a, Panther backer for Milwaukee. Been dreaming of this moment. And it doesn't matter that I've coached 1,000 AU games or coached in Israel. Nothing I can say in the next 15, 20 minutes to the next 6 months actually matters. Because the only proof will be in the pudding when hopefully you all show up in November and we show you what we've been working on and we show you what we've built. But I can promise you this. You're not going to get more out of any human being than you can get out of me. And I'm not going to accept anything less than that out of them. I want those men to have what I had. I played at Notre Dame for John McLeod. I played at Oklahoma State for the late, great Eddie Sutton. And Coach Sutton used to say, if you can survive my practice, you can survive anything in life. And you know what? He's right. And we didn't like him, okay? We didn't. We loved him. We didn't like him. But we loved each other. And what I want for you is what I got. which is the greatest basketball experience of my life. I have friends for life that I played with, that I lived with, that I won with, that I lost with. I wouldn't trade anything. Matter of fact, this is an incredible opportunity, but if somebody said you can go back and play one more year with that group, I'd do it right now. Be pretty ugly, okay? I'm in pretty good shape. Some of them are not. But the point is that the bond that you build is way more important than the wins and the losses. The feeling that the community has. And the perfect example is just last week I was in Oklahoma, and I went to a Thunder game. And I had 5 different people come up and say, hey, move here, build your studio here, do this here. I played 3 years at Oklahoma State. I lived in Oklahoma for 1 year. I haven't lived there since. That's still a home to me. Just like Milwaukee and Wisconsin is still home to my mom, because there are certain special places that you connect with. Hey, places don't make the place. Hey, I live in one of the most beautiful places on earth, okay, in Newport Beach, California. Why? Why would I move to Green Bay? People make the place. Places don't make the place. Okay? We got water, we got a beach, right? Okay? I could still paddleboard maybe in the summer, play golf. I live in the gym. I'm a basketball guy. Okay? I still play pickup ball. I love to mess around. I love to work out kids. I love watching young men grow and get better. You know what the greatest thing in coaching is? I'll tell you the secret. Okay? It's putting something in, working on the requisite skill to make that shot, telling them exactly when you're going to run that play, exactly what the defense is going to do, exactly what shot is going to be open, and when they make that pass and they get the shot and the ball goes in, all 13 eyes look at you like you're the smartest man on earth, right? But the truth is that they put in all that work. They listened, they executed, they worked together. Basketball is the greatest game there is. Football is awesome, don't get me wrong. I'm a Packer fan. Believe it or not, I was in on Jordan Love before others were in on Jordan Love. We got the tape to prove it. Right? But the point is that basketball, you can't hide. You know, if one guy's not doing what he's supposed to be doing, it screws the whole thing up. They have to work together. And that's analogous for us and this program in Green Bay. We have to work together. Because if we don't, we're just fractured units and we're bound for failure. What I want for our players is not just the NIL that you're being told is available now. I want the real NIL that I've been able to get. I built my entire life on my name, image, and likeness because I didn't even put the ball through the hoop. I couldn't shoot if you locked me in the gym all by myself. But I could get other people's shots. I could make it all work. The game was better when I was there. And based upon the 3 years that I played at Oklahoma State, I have built a life and a career for myself and for my children. Like, they're going to college. Everything I have was built on my name, image, and likeness. But it's also because I connected with the community. I connected with the student body. Okay? They're not just basketball players. They're student athletes. They're going to be in and around the campus, in and around the town. And you're going to learn that I'm not going to recruit guys that are a-holes. I have a one a-hole philosophy. I'm the a-hole. Nobody else is. You'll treat everybody with respect. You'll treat women with respect. And you will play for the name on the front of your chest. And you're coming to work every day. You're going to have a whole hell of a lot of fun doing it. And when we're not playing basketball and we're not in the gym, hey, we're going to be real human beings. We're going to go to football games. We're going on the beach. When it's cold, we'll get together and go watch movies. We're going to go to the women's games. I'm excited to see Kayla's teams play. Come to the volleyball games as well. We got it. It's three musketeers, all for one and one for all. Because that's the only way it works. And the only way it works is everybody decides to pull in the same direction. So you might ask yourself, why? It's not just the people, it's the passion. I have a friend, his name's Jeremy Epperson. And as weird as it may seem, I actually met him. I was working at ESPN. And we have the V Foundation auction. And he and a buddy paid, I think it was like 20 grand to come and spend the day with me. and the money went to cancer research. So Jeremy and I hit it off. He played baseball at Notre Dame. He's an ex-Marine. We've stayed close. About 6 years ago, he had cancer. And in the middle of the night, I was in Boston having dropped my son and daughters off at camp in Maine. I got a text from his wife, Ryan, on his cell phone that Jeremy had died. And I was beside myself because we kept in touch, but I hadn't actually gone and seen him since that one day at ESPN. We'd just been text friends. Occasionally, he put me on the phone with a friend, trying to prove he knows me. Sometimes I would call him about Notre Dame things or about military things. He's in the aviation industry. About 3 days later, he called me, like his phone, like a dead man's calling me, and he said, "I'm alive." "You're alive?" Well, he died on the operating table, and they resuscitated him, and he survived, and he's beaten cancer 3 times in his life. But that's not the important part of the story. I'm just giving the backstory. So cancer came back about 2 years later, and he was ready to give up. And I said, he went overseas for treatment. I said, "Jeremy, you're going to be fine. We are going to talk tomorrow. And then we're going to talk the next day. And we're going to talk the next day." And he said, "Brother, I need you to do something for me." I said, "What's that?" "I need you to coach." I said, "Jeremy, I do coach. I coach my kid. I coach high school teams." Like, no. I need you to coach. I need you to lead young men. You know it's what you were put on this earth to do. And so after I called my mom and she cried and we talked about her infatuation and love for the state of Wisconsin, I called Jeremy and I said, "I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it." So why am I here? I'm here because I love basketball. I love building community. I love building culture. I want to see those guys have what I have. Best friends. I want to be in the NCAA tournament. I've been on the microphone. I've been on the court. I've been on the sideline. And I can tell you that I coached in something called the Maccabi Games. It's like the Jewish Olympics. And I won 2 gold medals as a player. But I won 2 gold medals as a coach, and it was better. It's a lot better. Because watching them have joy, watching them build friendships for life, watching them learn how to play with each other and against the opponent and figuring it out and helping them figuring out and being that guide as a coach is incredibly fulfilling. That's what fills up my cup. And I'm 48 years old, and I'm not getting any younger. This is what I was meant to do. Right? I can talk, and I can teach basketball. That's about it. I can cook. I can't clean up. Not very good at that. Pretty good at sports. I need to get better at water sports, as my son will tell you. But I love building community. I love building teams. I love helping kids get better. And I just feel so loved by God to be here today. And to people who wonder, hey man, you're going to be here and gone tomorrow. The contract will become public. It's going to be pretty hard to get me out of this sucker. And that's by my desire, not by Josh's. I ain't going anywhere. I want to win. And I want to win again. And I want to win again. And I want to win again. And the only thing I like better than winning is the fact that I hate losing. I hate it. So, pretty simple. 1A-hole philosophy, everything works together. And it's not just us on the court. It's everyone in the stands. It's everyone in the community. It's all the student athletes here. It's all the students here. And there's nothing I can diagram for you or show you on a piece of paper or even put them through that proves to you, genius coach. No one's ever done it without players. So we need your help. We need your financial support. We need your emotional support. We need this core group to continue to build on the culture that Sundance and his staff help cultivate. And we just need time. And we put in that incubator, and you're going to be really proud of the green and white this year, and next year, and the following year. And hey, we can have these yearly meetings and just not be a coaching change. Is that okay? Right? We can have a barbecue and go like, hey, remember last year we had the coaching change, the year before we had the coaching change? No. We're here, we're digging in, we're rolling up our sleeves, and we got to get to work. Okay? There's no secret plays. There's no secret sauce. There's just hard work, okay, cohesiveness, kids that want to get better. The non-negotiables in this program are, you're going to go to class. You're going to be a good citizen. Okay? And as basketball players, you're going to want to get better every day. You have to love this game to get better every day. If you like it, that's fine. There's a door. Okay? If you love it, stay. Stay a while. Unpack. It's going to be a lot of fun. The others are, I want tough, competitive dudes. We can figure out how to play defensively based upon what we got. We can figure out what to run offensively. But I cannot teach a 21-year-old to be tough or be competitive. Either you are or you're not. And if you're not, there's the door. And then when we're not playing basketball, I know how to have a good time. And I want to use the fact that I have a national platform of a national radio show on over 200 markets to promote that something special is happening in Green Bay, Wisconsin. That it's a special place to live, to raise a family, to coach basketball. Right? The real reason that I love this job is, you talked about Coach Buss. Right? I became a Green Bay fan because I hated Jason Kidd. No, it's a true story. Jason Kidd grew up in Oakland, California, St. Joe's Alameda High School. My best friend in the world, his name's Miles Simon. He played at Mater Dei High School, went to play at Arizona. And Jason Kidd beat Mater Dei in the state championship. He was unbelievable. And that previous summer, he had beaten my dad's team in AAU, playing for Team ARC. So I hated Jason Kidd. Everybody I knew who played against Jason Kidd lost to Jason Kidd. And then I saw Jeff Norgard and Green Bay and the Fighting Phoenix take down Cal. And I liked it a lot. And I want that for those men. I've won NCAA tournament games. I won 5 of them. It's awesome. Nothing like it. Those experiences of friendship, of camaraderie, of going to the NCAA tournament, of being a memorable team, of being a team where every time you come around this arena, they can point to a banner. And when you go into town, you get the real NIL. You get your first job and your second job and your third job based upon the fact that you played for the Phoenix. You played for Coach Gottlieb. I will pick up the phone and help anybody who plays for me. But you remember the non-negotiables. And then, as far as the community at large, give me a chance. Get to know me. I think you may find something different than you might assume based upon a perception. I think that's a fair way to look at it. So, Josh, Mike, I truly appreciate this opportunity. I do not take it lightly. It's not just a special job because of the people. It's a special job because a lot of coaches have won here. You know, I'm close to Brian Wardle. I nearly went to Marquette when I transferred out of Notre Dame. I know he did well here. I know Link was building something really nice here. Obviously, Sundance did great here. And, of course, Coach Bennett. And you go back all the way up into the past. Okay? This is a successful program that I want to steward to the next step and make basketball the front door of the university and change people's perception and use my national media platform to do so. But we got to do it together. Because when we fray, when we do our own thing, that's when we're beatable. Not just as a basketball team, but as a community. I'll take any questions. Okay. Thank you.
Obviously, you've spoken on your show on Inside Wisconsin years ago about the non-traditional path of being a radio host and doing this job. I know you're coming from many jobs, done 2 jobs. But just in terms of the rubber meeting the road, how do you prioritize what you have to do
Well, obviously in practice, it's going to be different than how we scope it out. But part of the beauty to being able to do the national radio show is I'll take a little bit less money as head coach and hire what I think is a spectacular staff and people that I trust to be able. I like the Crimson Tide reference. If you've seen the movie, you got the con, you know? So have confidence in the fact that during those moments, because the truth is that there are moments like that in every program. You know, most coaches have their own coaches show, obviously not live, not for 2 hours live nationally. Most coaches have moments to which they're out of the office and somebody else is managing the players and the situations. But obviously we're going to play as we go here. But in terms of the mental gymnastics of doing it, I know I can do it. I just have to prove I can do it. And that's kind of the way in which we're starting this thing out. You have to be very disciplined with your time. It's actually not a strength of mine because I like people. I get into conversations and I'm, so I set alarms. I have a calendar, but part of my staffing is also having somebody who's directly responsible, like, hey, dude, we got to go do radio. But I'll do it from my office. I'm still very available. Matter of fact, when Josh first called me, I was actually on my show and had a 6-minute break. So although it's dark, it's not pitch black dark. But in terms of the mental gymnastics, it's challenging. I was thinking about the fact that a friend of mine found a note in the kitchen because at 11:40 at night I was running. There's a type of offense I like to run, 5 out delay, and like what is this? That's where my brain is. So the sports element of it is not really college basketball related, in national sports radio, it's football, and then this time of year, NBA basketball a little bit. So it's actually kind of different parts of your brain, but maybe it's the ADHD in me, but I can make it work. Hi, Andrew.
You mentioned how players from your Wisconsin, Minnesotas, around the plains, they want to play home, close to home.
Sure.
Instead of dealing with the big major schools and everything like that. Is that going to be an emphasis for you, recruiting local players and bringing them home?
I think that's a key element to why this is a good job. I really do. Because you don't really have to get on a plane to find great players at this level. Now, as I think Coach Gard can tell you, and every coach that's been at Minnesota can tell you, like, they'll have a handful of high majors per year, and it's, you got to build a fence and try and keep them, and if you don't, it looks bad. But in terms of the mid-major and what I call mid-major plus type player, like Wisconsin, Illinois, Minnesota, Nebraska, the Dakotas, Michigan, they're there. They're there. And, what happens is a lot of those kids out of high school, they get caught up in the name and want to go to a higher level. And we want to, that's why I believe that you want to make every home game, okay, a recruiting visit for the road team. Every home game a recruiting visit for the home. And how do you do that? Well, we fill this place up and we make it the Tundra Dome. I like Tundra Dome. He doesn't like Tundra Dome. But we make this place a snake pit. Every visiting team will have players that want to come play here. And there's many visiting teams that will come here and play here and say, like, damn, I can play close to home and play in front of this crazy environment, or play downtown right next to Lambeau. Why not? So, yes, I believe that a big reason that this place has been successful is that the level of talent, obviously there's some talented kids coming out of Milwaukee, Racine especially, and in Chicago that we want to get our hands on. And we're going to bring some kids in from out of the area. I have international ties in recruiting, having played in Russia, France, Israel, and played actually in over 10 countries internationally. But the heart of what we want to do is we want kids that their parents can come see them play. Because what happens is, and I transferred, okay, and what happens is you go to one school and you think, this is what I want to do, and then at the end of it, you're like, I really want to play for somebody who plays fast, for somebody who coaches me the way I want to be coached, plays in a great environment, plays relatively close to home, and hopefully plays at a place where you can be supported with the right amount of NIL as well, so that you feel like all of the things that you accomplished are rewarded a little bit financially, right? Nothing crazy. And yeah, I do think this is an absolute wellspring for that level of talent, and we want to draw a fence and bring them home.
Doug, obviously, the word that press conference only means so much right now, but in the coming weeks and months that follow, how do you convince your players, your communities, the fans that you're all in when you have such a significant other job during the day?
They're what's most important. And I'm not trying to diminish the importance of fans or people on social media. I'm built for that. I mean, I had a tweet about Caitlin Clark's shooting form, and I asked one of the foremost workout specialists in all of basketball, actually Kobe Bryant's workout specialist, got 13 million impressions, right? So, and the negativity is unbelievable. So I'm built for the negativity. That doesn't bother me. They're what matters. The current players and the incoming players are what matters. How do I convince them? We're going to get in the gym, and you're going to see what it's like. There's really no other way to do it. Get in the gym and see what it's like. And then the relationship piece, where they'll understand that I'm a real person, okay? I'm a real person. I'm going to be up here, and we're going to go do stuff together, We'll go for a walk on campus. We'll go down to the beach. Maybe we'll go hit some golf balls. We'll go hit baseballs, I like playing a little pickleball. I know that's a little bit of an old man sport for kids. It's fun, okay? I'm going to go down to some concerts, go to watch the Packers work out, go do stuff together, get to really, really know them. Really, really know them. But, I mean, the reality is there's nothing I can say and do. We don't have games. I can't show them. I think you'll know based upon our retention rate. We want a high recidivist rate, not just this year, any year. Okay? The key to building this thing is not going out and getting one big shiny piece in the portal, because those guys will come in, and we'll have some. Those guys will come in, and they'll make a name for themselves, and then they'll go elsewhere and really, really cash in. And that's a success story, right? Like, Noah's a success story. He came here, and he's going to make a lot of money, and he earned it, and it's great. Okay? But that's not the core of what you want to build as a program. Okay? So what you really want is a high recidivist rate. You want to bring those kids back. You want to make them be here, okay? And make them understand that this is a process, and your 1 to 5 years of being here, you're going to get better every day, and you're going to get the best basketball of your life. And if you can convince them, fine. That's really what matters. Look, I'm going to go to Brewers games. Yeah, I'm going to be at Packers practice. I'm going to try and be everywhere, because I like sports and I like people. I'm an extrovert. I feed off the energy of people. But there isn't really anything that I can convince fans of, because, people around here are real people. They know that talk is cheap, right? Show me the work. And they'll be working. And then in November, come here, buy a ticket, wear green, be loud, and you'll see all the work we put in.
Are there certain jobs, if you're trying to be the first D1 job, like this, maybe a public body, maybe Omaha, maybe at Wisconsin, that you would have been willing to drop your show to take a certain job?
Yeah, there was one, but they didn't hire me. So, and yeah, I mean, and look, it's not a forever with the radio show. It's a, let's see how it works. I think it works together great, okay? Because I think that this is a special place. This campus is beautiful. Do you think most people know how beautiful this campus is? Right? Like, I'll give you an example, okay? What's the prettiest campus in California? Huh? Everybody says Pepperdine, right? Okay? Pepperdine sucks. It does. And I'll tell you why. It's got this gigantic hill in campus. It's not actually on the beach. It overlooks the beach. So it's kind of like, this is where you could be, but you can't actually afford to live there, right? And you can't actually get there. The traffic to get there, there's fires in the canyon. The two nicest campuses, and maybe three, Loyola Marymount, which is on a bluff overlooking Southern California, like 2 blocks from the beach. UC Santa Barbara, which has dorms that are actually on the beach. And Point Loma, St. Nazarene down in San Diego, which is like a downward slope. You can see the water and you can walk down. It's beautiful. Do you know why you don't know about them? Because their basketball team's not any good. Because there's no promotion of it. Do you think that people know how pristine this campus is, that it has a view of the lake and how it's set aside from the city and it's clean and you feel like you could leave your car in lot? Of course not. That's what the radio show works for. Again, I'm not going to be able to do, local Green Bay talk, but I am going to be able to talk about the Packers, and I am going to be able to display how enjoyable it is to live in a special place. Like the Fox Valley is an unbelievable place to raise a family. Right? Do people know that? People who live here know that. People locally know that, but people nationally don't. So I want to use that platform as a promotional tool. Just like Fox Sports is going to use my platform as a basketball coach as their promotional platform, right? That's how it all can work together. But in terms of dropping the radio show, right now it's not on the table. Eventually, could it be? Sure, absolutely. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But we're going to try and make it work now, and we're going to try and make it work so that we can increase the awareness of this place, and obviously with being a basketball coach, the awareness of the show. Additionally, I think we can use it for NIL, for donations to the foundation, and to help all across the board in terms of raising money.
Hi, Doug. I know you've got a couple of current players in the stands right now. I don't know if you've been able to have any conversations with them yet. I mean, you've talked to them in regards to that, and so what is kind of the message you give to them?
I sent them a video message yesterday, right before the announcement. We didn't think it was appropriate to contact them until after the official announcement. And then the official announcement, I was doing my radio show, and then I literally ran to the airport and I went to Milwaukee. I spoke with 2 of the players. I've texted with several of them. And the message is this: I want all of them to stay, even the ones who are in the portal. I want all of them to stay. Okay? And I know you'll have the best basketball experience of your life playing for me. And I shared with them a couple of text messages from current college players who have played for me, expressing the exact same thing without any sort of prodding. I know what I do works, and I know what I do is ultimately enjoyable. Like, I'm not going to lie to you, like, practices aren't going to be always enjoyable. I'm not always in the cheeriest of moods if you're not giving me the best level of energy, right? I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Sometimes you got to go to the whip, right? But everywhere I have been as a basketball player, as a basketball coach, from my teammates at Notre Dame to my teammates at Oklahoma State to my teammates at Euro Great in Russia, Maccabi Renana in Israel, to Clermont-Ferrand in France, okay, to playing in the USBL and the Oklahoma Storm, I'm still close with all of them. Why? Because everybody liked playing with me, because I got them the basketball. And I use that same philosophy with how I coach. The ball moves, it doesn't stick. We play 5 as 1. Okay? You play hard, play harder, play hardest, and you play together. And I think Sonny did a really good job of identifying the right type of young men to be here. There's something in basketball called OKGs. Do you guys know what OKGs are? Our kind of guys. Our kind of guys. I'd like to think I'm your kind of guy, but we don't want anything other than OKGs in our program. Our kind of guys. Those are the kind of guys that if I say, hey, gym's open, there's people in it. Okay? So the message to them is, we want you all back. We're going to build something really special on top of what Sonny began in terms of foundationally. We're going to add some pieces in, and we're going to rock and roll and get after it in the summer and get better every single day. You will get better. Trust me, you will get better athletically. We're going to monitor what they eat. We're going to monitor how much they sleep. Okay? I'm big on having fresh legs for games. I don't like practicing for 3.5 hours. I didn't like it as a player. I don't like it as a broadcaster. That doesn't mean we won't go 3 hours, but we might go 1:15 in the morning and get skill in, and then go an hour at night. Because we all have some form of attention deficit disorder, right? We can only pay attention for so long. I'm going to let my coaches coach, and we're going to have really, really good ones so they don't get tired of my voice. And we're going to play a style which is open and fun on offense and grinding and tenacious on defense. And if you're in, you're in. And, I don't want prisoners. I want volunteers. And if they want to volunteer, let's go. You will never get the support and confidence of a coach like you'll get from mine. Because I've been coached all sorts of different ways. I truly know how to coach confidence. And we all have our insecurities as human beings, right? And you go to therapy, and I've been to plenty of therapy. I've been in lots of therapy. I need it. We all need it. And you start to uncover what's underneath that. What's those insecurities, right? And young men are no different, probably even more so, because their lives, they've had this in their hand their whole life, right? So they know what everybody else is doing. And it makes you feel somehow insignificant if you're not posting the biggest and the greatest and the best and the offer and, the NIL and everybody's. It's not reality, right? Reality is here and in that practice gym and getting to work and getting better. But you need somebody, and I believe I'm that person, that knows and understands the modern college student and the modern college student athlete. They're just precocious young men who need somebody to believe in them. Because you have to believe in them for them to believe in themselves. It doesn't work the other way around. And me saying, I want you all back. I've watched your game tape. I've watched you on Synergy. I knew who was coming in last year. I identified what I wanted last year and what I didn't. I was prepared for the job last year. I'm definitely prepared for the job this year. But that's the message to those guys. They know they're important to me. They're actually the most important thing to me. Everybody else will hop in the portal and start getting commitments. We're going to lock those guys in. We're going to find out who's in, who's out. And then we're going to find out what we need to add. Anything else?
Could you just describe what your coaching philosophy is? Like, what are the things that you value when it comes to coaching? What you sort of hone in on, you would say, describe your style of coaching?
Yeah, I mean, look, my sideline decorum has gotten better. I'm actually, it's interesting, as a broadcaster, I'm pretty tough on the officials. As a coach, I'm actually not, because what's the use, right? If they're any good, they'd be officiating the NBA anyway. But I am all about how you carry yourself, how you purport yourself, okay? From bench decorum to player decorum. Guy falls down, you help our guys up. Are you intense? Are you cutting hard? The most unselfish play in basketball, everybody thinks is the assist. It's not. I learned that from my coach. Coach said, you're the most selfish, unselfish player I've ever seen. And I was like, well, Coach, I lead the country in assists. Like, what are you talking about? But he knew that I wanted to lead the country in assists. He knew that I wouldn't just reverse the basketball so somebody, he knew he wasn't a dummy. The two most unselfish plays in basketball on the offensive end are the simple ball reversal and a hard basket cut. Because even if you can't shoot a lick, and I couldn't shoot a lick in college, right? Somebody has to guard you cutting to the basket. But if you're not covered, you're giving yourself up, but you're taking your man away from the play, which creates a gap for somebody else to drive into, right? It's called a gap or a double gap drive. That's an unselfish play. We all think of selfishness as you shoot or you pass or you handle. No. Do you cut hard? Do you screen for your teammate? Are you in the place that you need to be? Or when you get taken out of the game and somebody else is in the game, are you helping your teammate? Amen? Remember, he likes to go left. Remember, we're in the drop. Or are you in your feelings when you're sitting on the bench and you're looking up at your dad or you're looking up at your girlfriend and you're bitching and you're moaning and you don't help anybody? You're all here for a reason. Right? And if you don't want to help us all win, again, it's the same type of communal effort. That 12th, 13th guy, that walk-on, that guy's just as important as the guy on the floor. And trying to convince young men of that is difficult. That's my job. Right? My most unselfish teammate at Oklahoma State was a young man named Jared Weiberg. Jared's brother, Chad, is the athletic director at Oklahoma State. Jared died tragically in a plane crash the year after I graduated Oklahoma State in 2001. But he was unselfish because anytime I needed to shoot, he would come to meet me and shoot with me. As a teammate, he was a walk-on, and he would feed me and just say positive thoughts to me and constantly be positive. And we're like, why is he so positive? He never plays. We make fun of him because he finishes last in running. But that was his role. So you have to teach them to embrace that role and have success in that role. And we'll all have success. But I can't stand selfish people. I'm not one of them. I don't like talking about selfish people. And selfish people, that rears itself in how you purport yourself, how you handle yourself off the court. You know, not going to class is selfish. Smoking weed is selfish. Why? Because it runs the risk of me not playing you or me not being able to have you on the practice floor. And one, that hurts how many guys we have and hurts you have a value. That takes that up, screws up the whole rotation. So I can't take selfishness. I love toughness. I want kids that want to get better. I want people that are light bulbs, that illuminate every room that they're in. Find me those guys. Those are my OKGs. Thank you.
I guess I'm just wondering, what are the next steps when it comes to the portal and your coaching staff? Because it's already mid-May. So I guess I'm curious on what your philosophy is in the coming weeks and months.
I have a set plan. There is a 10-day period in terms of the hiring process, and jobs need to be posted. But the first course of action is to talk with and meet with every player that's currently on the roster and even the ones that are in the portal. That's first. Second thing is slowly we will add staffing. But in regards to the portal, already been in communication. And here's one thing that I haven't stated. I have an army. I have an army of people. From Israel to New York, to Pittsburgh, to Chicago, to Southern California, an army of people who have been waiting for this moment to mobilize. And when you say army, you start thinking of like Dune or Star Wars, and you think of something nefarious. No, I have an army of people who just want to see me succeed. And it's not all because of me. It's because of my brother or because of my dad. Okay? And we've activated that army. And the issue now is not the recruiting, it's the selecting who we want to join this group of young men. So I have complete faith that we'll be adding from the portal, we'll be adding some transfers, but the first and most important order of business is how high can our recidivist rate be? How many players can we retain so that we can build on the culture that Sonny established last year? No. I'd say more than 10. And there's been a lot of talk about being an assistant coach, and but I will. I promised I wouldn't sell her out, but I'm going to. I was on the phone with my sister, and my sister's been in the sports business. She used to work for the Raiders, and she's in Northern California. And she said, and I said, well, I'm trying to figure out, like, do I want to go take an assistant job, or do I want to just keep waiting and keep fighting? Because I did interview with a couple people this off season as well. And she said, some people when their kids want to be firefighters and astronauts, and they don't want to be firefighters and astronauts now, maybe you want to be a basketball coach and that time has passed. And she's not the only one. I've had coaching agents say it wouldn't happen. And I always said, you have to find the right person with the right vision and the right timing and the right place. And that's what this is. So a little bit of it is a lot like players. You can't worry about the players you don't get. You got to focus on the players you do get. You can't worry about the jobs that you didn't get. You got to worry about the one that you did, okay? And not focus on anything more than that. Anything more than that. But there's been plenty of opportunities, and I think one of the reasons that you've seen a lot of coaches very kindly say nice words about me, where I've been in discussions with many of those coaches about coming in and learning from them, but also running their offense. That's my area of expertise.
Last question.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What do you hope that other people who maybe are interested in this non-traditional route to a coaching position learn from you being hired?
Well, a couple things. First, as much as it feels like it's non-traditional, Steve Kerr had never blown a whistle a day in his life before he took over the Warriors. I think that's worked out okay. Fred Hoiberg coached at his alma mater after being in the front office in Minnesota for a year. That worked out okay. And there's been plenty of non-traditional hires. But what do I want people to learn from it? I tell my kids that if somebody's not laughing at your dreams, you're not dreaming big enough. And I've had people say, couldn't happen. You can't do it. You gotta go sit on somebody's bench. You gotta go get some coffee for the head coach. You gotta draw up scouting reports. You gotta go grind as an assistant. You gotta figure that out. And in 2008, and this kind of helps answer your question, in 2008 I interviewed for a job, let's just say it's in the state of Texas, and I had a long relationship with the athletic director. And it was my first real interview. And I was working at ESPN at the time. And he said to me, man, I'd love to hire you, but God, can't you just go sit on somebody's bench for a year? And at the Final Four, and that year was in San Antonio, I walked out and I saw 2,000 coaches with resumes in their hands, trying to get their next job. And I thought to myself, I'm one of like 50 people that get to call college basketball games. I'm one of like 20 people who has a national radio show. I don't want to put myself in that big of a pool. So I understand that betting on yourself is one of those cliche expressions, but I've also prepared for that. I've coached TBT 2 different times. That's the basketball tournaments for $2 million in the summer with adults. I've coached in Israel. I've coached youth basketball. I've coached anywhere possible. I've worked out NBA guys as well. I'll go and watch film when I'm doing my job as an analyst. Some people just show up and do the game. I don't. I show up, meet with the coaches, watch film, get the scouting report, do it for both teams, really feel like I can tell you who's going to win the game before the ball is ever thrown up because I know based upon the preparation. But to really answer your question is this. People pray for a lot of things in life. They pray for health. They pray for happiness. They pray for peace on earth, peace in the Middle East. All these things are valuable things. I pray for one thing. It's for an opportunity. Because an opportunity can change somebody's life. Okay? These guys don't understand the opportunity that's been presented to them, not just by me, but the chance to get an education in this community that's going to change their life. And what Josh and Mike have given me is an unbelievable opportunity. Now, there is something that comes with it. You got to be willing to prepare and work and make that opportunity make sense. Okay? But if you look at my career, you really want to know how I built my career, was I prayed for snow. I prayed for snow. When I was at ESPN in Bristol, Connecticut, okay, I was not hired to do college basketball. I had done college basketball the year before in Oklahoma and did 1 year of radio in Oklahoma City. I was hired to do a show called Game Night, which was 6 hours a night, 4 days a week. And they would not let me even be on ESPN News unless it was a day in which I did radio, so they didn't have to pay me. Because if I came in on a different day, they would have to pay me for coming in on a different day. That's how the contracts work. And I would pray for snow, because if a snowstorm was coming in the middle of January, Dick Vitale couldn't get in. Jay Billis couldn't get in. Jimmy Dykes couldn't get in. None of those guys could come in. And I would knock on the door and say, hey, man, if you need me, I'm here. And it started with filling in on ESPN News and then built its way to filling in on ESPN. And I filled in on every different show at every different level of every different platform. And eventually, they gave me my own kind of stake in the game. But it was that prayer for opportunity. That's what you should teach people. pray for that opportunity. Find that opportunity that fits you, fits your life, fits how your brain works, and then prepare for it and be willing to work and make it work. And if you can do that, that's something worth living for. Listen, we need to wrap this because I'll talk till the cows come home. But I mean this, that if you see me, please introduce yourself and get to know me. You know, I'm an over-communicator. I'm going to struggle here in the next couple of days because I've never seen this many text messages in my life. But I'm an over-texter, and I try to reply to everybody. But I'm planning on being here for a while. I plan on winning a lot of games for this program's sake, not for my own sake. And I want to make this special for those young men. But I can't just do it by myself. I don't have a magic wand. We got to do it together. Starts today. I'll see you in the gym.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as we said at the top, we're hoping we don't have to gather like this anytime soon. I like his idea of getting together for a barbecue next year, and we'll talk about how successful the season was. Thank you all very much for coming out, meeting Coach. Can't wait for you to meet him in person. Thank you. Have a good rest of the day, and go Phoenix.